Hello, welcome VOD viewers. I was just struggling with trying to make a thumbnail. For some reason the photo I was taking wouldn't work. I don't know why. YouTube works in mysterious ways to fail, finds new ways to fail, new mysterious fail techniques. Hello, welcome to a Seaside neighborhood, aka Norfolk, North Side Norfolk, Virginia. I can't even tell, how do I know what even the title of the stream I'm doing is? How do I check that? This thing is so strange, this whole vertical streaming thing. Anyway, I'm headed for the beach. I live about a 10-minute drive from the beach, and it's considered an hour-long walk by Google. We'll see how long it actually takes. Google's estimations for walking are always based on slow people, I find. So, we'll see how long it actually takes me. I thought that walking to the beach would require me to walk on more major roads, but turns out there's this extremely long old road called like Old Ocean View Road or something like that, that clearly used to be the main road to get to the ocean before they built some kind of more direct highway or whatever. This is a very nice neighborhood though. It's funny because Norfolk has sort of a reputation for being hood, and not far from where we live, you would understand why I would have that reputation, but also not far from where I live is a very nice neighborhood like this. It's definitely a part of Norfolk that is rapidly gentrifying, as evidenced by the fact that my family moved in here. My parents being a couple of vegans, who just left California again. So the epitome of gentrification. Anyway, hello Lux. Tell your friends I'm doing an early ass in the day live stream. I kind of figure I'm relying on Europeans right now who never get to watch live streams, because typically, or at least not from Americans, they typically miss out on all the American streams because of the 5-hour, 6-hour, 7-hour, depending on which European country you live in, maybe even 8-hour time difference, putting you in the late afternoon when I'm in the late morning. But this one goes out to all them, or my early birds here in the States. It's 9:30 here in Virginia, which means that in California it's 6:30. It's pretty early to be watching a vertical live stream of somebody wandering around a beachside town, I think. I'm not sure. You tell me. You let me know how strange of a venture this is. Just gonna keep rambling to myself, I guess, until more people show up in the chat. For the VOD viewers. Always for the VOD viewers. Everyone who's like, I gotta make it to one of these live one time. One time it'll happen. Probably not today though, when I'm streaming at 9 in the morning. It's an incredibly beautiful day though. I couldn't help myself but to want to go on a walkabout stream. I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see all the gorgeous stuff I'm looking at least until I get more more chat to respond to. Pretty flowers and stuff and trees and shit. Yeah, Norfolk's a pretty place. That white building at the end of this road, I can tell I guess you can't see it that well. This seems, there you go. That white building at the end of the road, that's probably right on the beach. So by the time I get there, I'll be pretty close. What's up, chat? No offense, but what's up, bro? It's a funny thing to say. What up, dog? What up, homie G Skillet? Yo. What up, my dude? What up, my guy? What up, my sassafras molasses? What up? What's good in the hood? What's cracking? What's happening? What's going on? I just put out that song last night. If you didn't hear it, my new song, EP, Bitches That Wanna Mosh and What's Going On. 2 tracks I did with Bad Eater. Bad Eater is a fantastic beat producer and rapper who created Sean's very own album for The Dick Show, and also did some rapping and beats for Sucker Punch, the group that I had with Young Clippa and Mint Salad and Cranberry Dave and Dyron Miller and myself and Bad Eater. And a couple of years ago, Bad Eater was making me some beats, and I was gonna make a whole album and call it Witch Eater. But we made 3 songs, and then I ended up moving. So I didn't end up making any more songs for the album because I was working on other shit, particularly other Sucker Punch songs, because that was right when I moved in with ASC Presents into the studio. So, you know, that's basically, I lost track of that album, but I ended up putting out the 2 songs that I really liked as a 2-track EP last night. It's real hype stuff, very concert type music. You know, Bitches That Wanna Mosh, obviously, is just a mosh song. It exists. Its purpose is clear in its title. It's a song to make bitches go mosh. And it's also kind of an instructional on how to mosh. And then What's Going On is, well, it's about what was going on in my mind 2 years ago when I wrote the song, as well as Bad Eater. But yeah, that's out now. I've also got another collection coming out soon called Rescues and Rarities, which is going to be 40-something, I think, tracks that either have only ever been on my SoundCloud, never on my Bandcamp or like Spotify or anything, or which are from albums that were taken down, or there's also the 3rd song that Bad Eater and I made for that project I'm putting on there as well. So yeah, there'll be a whole big old Rescues and Rarities album with a lot of good stuff on it. I would say at least half of it is good. You can decide which half when you listen to it. Whatever happened to weekly anime reviews on We Watch Anime? I've been doing them. Have you missed them? Did you miss the last one? Do-da-da-da. It was Bakano, Do-da-da-da, and the other one, which is about Dead Not Death Play. They are actually bi-weekly. The idea is that they release every other week to my patrons exclusively, and then a week later on We Watch Anime. So right now, my patrons have access to the newest anime video, which is unrecommendable anime that rule, which is about, exactly as the title sounds, anime that I think are really cool, but I don't know who to recommend them to because generally they are not well liked. They are either just the content is very disturbing and strange, or people just don't they're just so weird. I don't know who the fuck like I can even picture in my mind that would like them until I meet that person. Like, it's not that I've never met anybody who I would recommend the stuff to, but it's like very specific people. None of it I would recommend to like a group based on, you know, just having like, oh, you like action shows, check out Urotsuki Doji. It's like, well, there's a little more going on there, you know. Apocalypse Zero, stuff like that. It's a video about all those trashy anime that I've been talking up over the years. So that'll come out next week on We Watch Anime. Meanwhile, the latest Manga Monday is like a 90-minute podcast basically about Frieren, just reviewing the entire manga because my brother Shade told me that it's the best one. And I'm inclined to agree. It is very good. I don't know if it's the greatest manga of all time or anything, but it is very good. I don't think YouTube's pushing your stuff to me anymore. Oh, don't worry, it's not. But the thing is, every single time I make a new video or a new live stream, someone new gets it. Like, for some reason, YouTube pushes it to different people every time. So, that's why I'm front-loading this, telling you about my other channels and my other projects and all the things that you probably don't know about because YouTube is not going to tell you. It's just going to, you know, keep most of my subscribers in the dark about the fact that I'm doing anything at all. I'm not really beloved by YouTube's algorithm. But I don't want to go on and on about why that is. That'd take all day. Got other videos about that, actually. That's the funny thing. Is just I've actually talked about it so much. It's crazy when, you know, that, like, again, every time I put out a video, YouTube will push it to someone new that hasn't seen one of my videos in like 5 years, who comes in and is like, oh my god, you've been making videos this whole time? And I'm like, yeah, the whole time, you know. But it is what it is. Fit check, the shirt looks awesome. Thank you. This thing's actually kind of coming apart. Like, it's kind of fraying, so I don't know if it's gonna last much longer. But yeah, I got on the red shirt, white shorts. My socks, actually, I don't know if you can, I don't know how to make them readable. They say your move on the back, like Yu-Gi-Oh. What do I think about Pink Pantheress? I think I've heard some of their music. But for questions like that, that's sort of like a rant topic. And I've made it a habit now that when people bring up rant topics, I remind them that you have to super chat for me to rant about stuff. You know, if you really want my opinion on some random subject matter. Now granted, I haven't heard enough Pink Pantheress. I know one of their songs I like, so if I could remember which song it was, I'd be able to probably give a rant on that one, but I wouldn't suggest paying me to rant about that because I don't have a strong opinion about it. Thank you for the compliments on the shirt. The best thing about this shirt is that it's like, it's almost entirely like, you know, not just see-through, but like it's ventilated fabric is what I'm trying to say. P with $2, thank you, asked, will you ever read the Umineko visual novel? I think maybe eventually, but it's hard to say because I don't like visual novels. I'm not a big fan of the visual novel experience in general well, just in general, I struggle with anything that I have to compel to continue in order to consume, which, you know, if you're thinking about what that means, is a pretty broad category of stuff and includes a lot of things like books or manga or, you know, like basically anything that's not like a constant audio visual stream. Particularly audio, like I'm a very audio fixated person in general, so like if I have to listen to music that gets repetitive or that I don't really enjoy that much, I'll start tuning it out, I'll start dissociating, I'll start wanting to play other music over it, and if I get more interested in the other music, then I start losing track of reading what I'm supposed to be reading, you know? So like, it's really difficult for me to get into the kind of like meditative headspace that I think is required to like maintain all of the contents of a story inside your head. And for me, even watching shows, that could be a struggle. Everybody knows I suck at like keeping track of the plot in a show. But I'm trying to figure out, I'm starting to reach like a major road, so if my audio gets really kind of shitty because of cars, it's not gonna last too long, just until I make it to the beach, which I should be very close to. But I have not referenced the map since I started streaming, so let's see what happens. Anyway. But yeah, like, so, because I struggle with the overall experience, and this even extends to like video games, you know, I feel like I've insisted this a lot on live streams lately, but I really do mostly just listen to music and watch YouTube videos. And doing stuff like watching anime takes like an amount of effort of like, I'm deciding to do this because I care about anime and I'm interested in, like, I'm investigating it, you know? So with Umineko, if I were to approach it, it would have to be like that. And I've heard that the manga is very good, and it's possible that, like, if I read the manga, that might even make me want to read the visual novel if I liked it, you know. I've seen the anime, and I enjoyed the anime, but I know the anime doesn't go very far into the plot. It certainly doesn't go into the relevant details about my namesake character that make people interested in hearing my thoughts on it. So, you know, I think on a long enough time scale, you know, should I live to find the patience within me to play a visual novel? Maybe. All right. New super chat, 10 pound from Yakuman. Now that you're in your early 30s, when will you re-review Catherine like you said you might? Particularly Full Body. It fixes a lot of your problems with the OG and has cute new trans girl love interest. Well, that does sound like something I would want to investigate. Man, I feel like I'm going the wrong way to get to the beach. I'm gonna go the other way. And if this fails, I'll go that way. Anyway, Catherine, I am interested in Full Body and interested in playing it again. I think when I played with a lot of Atlas games, there's so much heavy symbolism and aesthetic that I think I always expected them to have more deep surface level text on top of that, if that makes sense. Like with Shin Megami Tensei and stuff, you know, and granted I have never played any of these games all the way through, so, except for Capcom, so like it's possible that I just haven't seen the depths of them. And also, I think I played Capcom all the way through. I didn't play every ending. I didn't try to explore every possibility within the game space. And I think that that type of game, that kind of is, I think that kind of game expects a type of gamer that wants to see every possibility, you know? This kind of applies to visual novels as well, and like, I guess I find I struggle to have that level of curiosity in my engagement with something where I want to, like, consume it every which way. Like, I was perfectly satisfied in Undertale to get the pacifist ending, you know? I mean, as close to it, like, I think I hadn't known that you could do that until I had already fought Tanriel at the start. So I don't think it was a perfect pacifist ending, but it's, like, close enough. I was satisfied with it. So, like, I didn't feel the need to go back through and masochistically try to discover all the depths of the game, especially when I ended up hearing other people talk about it anyways. But, like, I wasn't even actively seeking that information either. Like, the game criticizes people for, like, you know, going and looking it up anyways, even if you didn't have the courage to do it yourself. I never went out of my way to look any of that up. Culture brought it to me, you know? So, in that sense, like, and learning that stuff didn't like then invest in me the curiosity to go, oh, I gotta find out if there's more to this. Like, um, you know, I guess in one part it's the knowledge that like the community will find everything. So like I kind of feel like if you're gonna be somebody who's diving into a piece of media to like get to the full depth of it, you have to be committed because you love that thing. And Catherine is a game, to bring this back to the actual rant point, that I think a lot of people do really love. Like, it has that cult sleeper status, especially because it became a competitive game. I know it was like a popular competitive game in Australia for a short period because Cider had told me about it back in the pub crawl days. You know, it got the re-release. So, like, I'm curious to re-explore it specifically because, like you said, if it fixes some of the problems, I might just enjoy the game overall more and then be more invested to explore all of its possibilities, as opposed to feeling like I was like really trying to get it over with because it's fucking hard and I didn't want to have to keep playing it, you know? So like if you know, if it felt more like something that I got to the end and was like, oh, I'm raring to go for that again because it was fun, you know, then maybe I will like start peeling back the layers, or maybe I'll just get more out of it right on the surface. Because when I played Catherine, I literally was in my first relationship. I think I played and reviewed that game very shortly before the end of my first relationship as well. So I hadn't even gotten out of my first relationship yet. And like, well, first real one, you know. And like now I'm, you know, 2 other 3-year relationships. You know, like I'm 3.5 years into being with Bird. I had a 3-year relationship in between those two. So like I have way more experience in the field that the game is commenting on. So I definitely think my understanding of it and my feelings about it will have changed. Uh, in terms of like what answers I would give to questions and stuff like that, or what type of person I think I am in a relationship has probably shifted since 2013, I think, when I played that game, literally more than 10 years ago. So it might be worth a shot. I do want to kind of, I feel weird about trying to get into gaming right now because I don't know where it's going. Like, typically we would be at the point where a new console generation is about to happen, but like the PS5 still sucks. The Xbox is a memory. You know, VR gaming is like kind of one foot in. You know, mobile gaming is boring. It hasn't really gone anywhere. And so it really all falls on the Switch for me, where I love the Nintendo Switch, but I'm also looking at it like, are they gonna fucking replace this thing soon? Like, is the new thing gonna be backwards compatible? Like, am I gonna be fucked if I go all in on the Switch, and then Nintendo's it, you know? Like, whoa, holy shit! Look at this house. Look at that. Damn. I'm in a real fancy neighborhood now. Still don't know how close I am to the beach, but at least I'm not on a major road, so I can more easily on. I just didn't realize it intersects with a major road, so now I know. All right, let's see what else people were saying in the chat while I was answering that. Can your pub crawl app still be found on YouTube? I found out about that show pretty late and I wanted to check it out. I think some of it, if you search the pub crawl, there is some on there. I don't know if that's something that's really like something you could go back to, because it was so time and place, and it really was just like a drunken conversation every couple of nights, you know. Maybe the podcast version, because I do think Cider edited that, the ones that are actually on YouTube, so those ones might be more re-listenable. I haven't gone back to any of this, so I can't vouch for anything I say in any of this content. But like the pub crawl was probably like 5 years. I don't know if I was on it for 5 whole years, but it's probably something close to that. And like for the most part, it would be Tuesdays and Thursdays live streamed on like internet radio to like, you know, 10 people and 10 bots. And we would start at like 2 in the morning and go to 4 in the morning, because which, you know, in my time, it was normal hours, Australian time. But like, because we did it twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, for years, there are literally hundreds of lost episodes of the pub crawl, and they should never ever be found. Not for anyone's health. Honestly, anything, Cider has probably buried some stuff deliberately, because I know he used to get in trouble for stuff we would talk about on the pub crawl. And for some reason, nobody would ever come to me. Everybody would always come to him with their problems with me. But yeah, I don't know if that's something I would encourage going back to necessarily. The Switch should be coming out. Switch 2 should be coming out soon, hopefully. I mean, maybe, but we don't know. There's nothing. No information. Rumors, hearsay, that's it. Reliable report came out saying that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with magnetic Joy-Cons. I don't know what a reliable report means. I don't believe anything until I see it. You know? We live in a world with deep fakes and AI and shit. I'm not about to trust reliable source. I'll just wait for the announcement. Okay, we are nearing the end, I think, of this long road that leads beachward. I'm struggling with the fact that I kind of have to pee, but there's not a bathroom area around in sight, and I am not in the woods. I'm just in the middle of a nice neighborhood. Well, hopefully when I get to the beach, where there are many parks on the beach, one of these parks will have some sort of restroom. If not, God help me, I'll have to run back home. Actually, there are sidewalks. I'm just not walking on the sidewalk, because I don't feel like it. I was thinking about this actually before I started the live stream. This is kind of a force of habit. I feel weird walking in the sidewalks because they're so far inland. I feel like I'm in people's yard, and like, I don't know, I feel safer knowing that the cars are fully aware of me. I've also just gotten used to, because of the fact that Corbin in Kentucky has no real sidewalks. Most of it is totally unwalkable, but we walked all over it anyways, because what the fuck else were we going to do? Not walk around? Actually, this road doesn't have a sidewalk. I don't know why this particular stretch doesn't have one, but everything else did. But yeah, Hampton Roads area is not particularly known for walkability. It is very, very spread out. Probably the least dense metropolitan area of its population, like, in the United States. I think I can actually unreservedly claim that. Like, I don't even think, like, Oklahoma City has as much, like, land area, I think, as Virginia Beach, but it also has way more people, so it's still more dense. But like, Norfolk is like 250,000 people, and Virginia Beach is like 500,000 people. Like, both of them are spread out over just like an incredibly massive area. Are you in China or Oklahoma? No, I'm in Norfolk. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. Road walking is based in for the baddies, thank you. It's pretty cool how much music has been impacted by artists from Virginia Beach. I agree, including my own, obviously. And I don't just mean that as well, but also like, you know, I grew up listening to Missy Elliott and, well, I didn't grow up listening to Pusha T at all, but he's probably the best known artist from around here. Pharrell Williams, whose house is visible out on a bay. Like, there's a restaurant you can go to that if you stand out on its pier, you can see Pharrell Williams' house. I doubt he ever lives there, considering He's like always on The Voice, so when is he ever in Virginia? Except for when he's doing the festival. He does still a festival here now. The weather is beautiful here. Right now the weather is pretty much perfect. That's why I had to go walk around before it gets too hot. Because I know it's going to get too hot later on. But yeah, I'm just finding my way to the beach. I'm getting close. I've just been going down this old Ocean View Road forever. Any thoughts on the new Kendrick diss? I tell you what, you super chat that same question, I'll give you a full rant about it. Otherwise, I tweeted about it. Helicopter. How would you describe one being anime expert? How would you describe one being anime expert? Well, you know, when you've seen so much anime that your life becomes anime because anime is all you know, that's when you are truly an anime expert. I'm assuming that helicopter is looking for you, yeah. It's all that B&E I've been up to. Actually, I think that was probably a news helicopter. It looked kind of blue and whitish. Hey Trixie, hope you're having a good day. Been a fan of your content since the MLP days, and recently, in the past year, have come out as trans, and my parents have been supportive. That's excellent. It's always good to hear. Every parent should be supportive. My parents have been supportive. It's nice. It's probably the best thing I've got going for me in life. So I cannot possibly understate the value of supportive parents. I'm almost at the end of this Ocean View Road. I'm getting very close to the beach. A gigantic hedge. I'm from Staten Island, New York, and all we have is the Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, that's all you need is the Wu-Tang Clan. What else could you possibly, like, it's like saying we've just got Jesus Christ, you know? Out here in Nazareth, all we've got is Jesus. That means you got Method Man, you've got ODB, you've got the RZA, the Jizza, you've got Redman, you've got fucking, I don't know if they're actually all from Staten Island. I don't know exactly where every single member of Wu-Tang hails from, but collectively, can't get more important than Wu-Tang. I think I'm pretty much stuck walking on some pretty major roads for a while. Could cut through these neighborhoods. Fuck it, I'll cut through this neighborhood. This one looks fine. As much time on roads. This will add a little bit to my time getting to the beach, though. Oh my god, it's so peaceful and nice. Birds be going off. Look at this, just look at the trees and stuff here. Like, I don't know, walking through a zone like this, hard not to feel pleasant. Jakes, please show a funny TikTok dance when you really reach the beach. I don't know any TikTok dances. I'm struggling. I really struggle with the whole short videos thing. Just what I was saying a bit ago about how I struggle with media that you have to like compel to continue. Shorts are the absolute worst about that because, like, you're rolling the dice over and over again on getting something decent, and I don't know, I've never done it enough for the algorithm to know me well, I guess, so, like, I just feel like I fucking scroll past 100 goddamn things before I see something that doesn't, like, actively make me mad, you know? And so, it's just like I get pissed off quickly, and Usually everything I see on TikTok just makes me feel like these people are, like, it's usually rich people and people with just like, I don't know, seemingly no sense of self-awareness. And maybe I'm jealous of both of those types of people, but you know, it just makes it hard for me to watch. I just don't get a lot of, there are some people who do great content in short form. Brandon Rogers would be a good example. You know, like, his videos are already short in the first place, but see what guy's going on. Look at this guy. Look at him go. Feisty little fucker. Yeah, do something, bitch. Stupid dog. TikTok is pure slop. I mean, I know some of it's good. Like, so Bird doesn't watch TikTok. He watches YouTube Shorts, which are assumably all the same. You know, they're all on TikTok as well. But, you know, because he watches it so much, it's very well attuned to his taste. He always gets what he wants. And so he gets a lot of homesteading content, a lot of animal content of pretty much any variety. You know, if you just want to train the algorithm to show you nothing but like cute animals and cool cars, or, you know, like just stuff you like or want, then, you know, I understand the value in it. But for me, seeing stuff that I like or want just makes me jealous. You know, it doesn't make me feel closer to it. It makes me feel farther away. Alright, where the fuck am I? Avoiding by taking this route. Alright, I'm gonna actually hop on the sidewalk because this road's kind of narrow and full of cars. YouTube Shorts never show me anything I want to see. I mean, me neither. Well, I assume it showed you this though, right? That's how you get to these, isn't it? Or do these show up in your sub feed normal? I don't know how the vertical streaming really works yet. I'm totally new to it, and, you know, doing other stuff in the meantime, so I haven't just been purely investigating it. It shows you Andrew Tate clips. I mean, it shows people that stuff to make fun of it though, right? Like, that's the other thing about internet content, is that most of it, well, any like internet or news, any feed content, any content that just comes to you in a feed, like, the best way to reach people is to make them angry. It's like, if you can trip someone's aggression switch, then it, you know, immediately makes them start talking, start caring, start paying attention. And it's easy to manipulate that emotion as well, especially if it's, you know, if it comes on really powerfully. So I really hate feeling manipulated in that way. When I see something that makes me angry and then I realize that it's there to make me angry, then I get angry at myself for paying attention in the first place. You know, I think, oh, I shouldn't have let myself get baited, you know. That's why I've sort of targeted, there's this guy called John Della Rose. Most of you have probably never heard of him because he's like a comic book writer and, like, I guess I'll just call him alt-right streamer. But he's a grifter. He's like a grifter on a level of being so obvious, like so self-evidently not really meaning what he says, that it's almost confusing. Like, it feels like he's doing a parody because he's trying to be as extreme as possible, but, like, you know, he doesn't really feel that way. So, like, it sounds like Vito telling a joke that he, like, well, I should say, if you know Vito and you know Biggest Problem in the Universe, Vito, half the time you can tell he's being extreme as a joke, and the other half of the time you think, yeah, but it seems like you really think that stuff. And with John, it's like he pushes it into the realm of parody with the things he's saying, but he believes the core aspect of it. So it's weird. It's very frustrating to look at because he's hard to make fun of because it looks like he's trolling, but he's trolling like he's trolling for a side that he picked, you know. So it's still ugly. It's still annoying to me, you know. Really have no time for disingenuous people. Yeah, I can handle some level of it if they're like a character or like an actor, or if they're at least making some money doing it. But John De La Rose is basically a nobody who, you know, scrapes by on. I've read some of his comics. They read like they were written by ChatGPT, you know, like just very generic. So, you know, can't really say I respect the person's art or their hustle. Just seems like they're trying really hard to be insincere because they think that that will be cool, but everybody sees through it. So, you know, it just looks like a dumb act. Ellen Horai says, "Nice hat, thank you." I like the hat too. Oh man, I've been walking down some real long roads. I hope I get to a bathroom at some point at the beach. I can smell the beach, so I know I'm getting closer. But I'm definitely deep in this strange little neighborhood. Reminds me of my youth, growing up in this whole area. Let's pop over to front cam for a little bit. Oh wow, it's nothing but asphalt, pretty much. Unless I look at people's houses, which feels creepy and kind of stalkerish. So we'll just aim the camera back at me. I always feel like, though, you know, if anybody's a passerby, they can't tell what angle I'm filming out of. Am I filming randomly in front of me? Am I filming randomly myself? Am I getting weird looks because I'm YouTube streaming or because I'm a trans woman in short shorts? It's always hard to know. Probably both. Probably all of the above. This is a neat little turn we're about to take here. Check it out. Somebody has left up some Halloween decorations. It's May, so those have been up for a minute. Those real ducks? No, those are not ducks. Geese, I mean. Fake geese. Anyway, that was nifty. Perfect beer weather. I know, I wish I could. Unfortunately, you can't drink outside in Virginia, or else I would have brought a beer with me. Although by now it would have been warm and gone flat if I had not finished it. And I'd probably be all bubbly inside. Oh, hey, I made it to the golf course. Check it out. Past that fence, there's a golf course. So now I know I'm close to the beach because that golf course is right next to it. Get your fucking super chats in so I have something to rant about on our way to the beach. Let's go. Let's go. Get money, get money, get money. I mean, you're not getting money, you're giving money. I'm giving money. But you can feel the sensation of having gotten money. You can give money in a way that makes you feel like you got money. Because you see somebody else getting it, and then you vicariously experience the euphoria of their earning. Does this make sense? I think this is how rap works. I'm pretty sure this is the theory of hip hop. All right, Yaku Man put in the 5 pound. Fuck it, I'll do it. Rant about the Kendrick diss. I'm allergic to Twitter, so tell me about the hot beef. All right, Kendrick's diss. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, first of all, I mean, I assume you've listened to it. I hope everybody's listened to it. Maybe the greatest diss track of all time. Easily, I mean, it's my favorite I've heard, because like, there's plenty of ones where like, I understand why it's good from like an intellectual standpoint. Kendrick's is just the most ruthless, the most like carnal, and it's interesting because it's a song only that could only be written about the relationship of Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I guess you could say that about any beef track. That's kind of what makes them so interesting. Diss track, I should say. Any beef with tracks is interesting because of the fact that there's like the meta narrative aspect that you can't get from a song that's just generically supposed to relate to anybody. And so a diss track can only be popular if the subject matter is already well known enough that it makes sense to anybody. So obviously you've got the most well-known rapper of all time, Drake, in terms of people who are considered a rapper and are famous. Then you've got the shoe-in for greatest of all time, at least of our generation. Like, the only way you can make an argument that Kendrick isn't the GOAT is because he's not dead, and there are dead people from the 90s. Like, Kendrick wouldn't be here without Pac. Can you really say he's the greatest without saying that Pac is the great? Whatever. Kendrick's the greatest rapper of all time. I think that's beyond proven by this song alone. And only Kendrick could be in a position to call out Drake on the level that he does because he's worked with this man. He writes for this man. He is one of the reasons that Drake can exist in the capacity he does. Because, as he's being accused of having like all these ghostwriters and all that kind of stuff, like, just it. Oh yes, I can see it. I see the water. We're getting close. Like, knowing that Drake is reliant on other people in order to be Drake. He couldn't just get by on having unimaginable talent. He's good at surrounding himself with talent, using that talent to pull together towards realizing himself. And I think it's difficult not to do that if you're going to be reaching the level of someone like Drake, because how does one person connect to everybody? How does one person draw in millions of listeners, millions of viewers with just their own charisma? It can't be done. You need to have like a committee of people figuring out what is charismatic, or you need to be so many different people at so many different times that you can connect with all kinds. Like Kendrick Lamar, what's made him special is not that he has any one song that's like the all-time hit. It's that he's got 40 songs that are like, any hip-hop fan could probably tell you that they have a favorite Kendrick Lamar song, like whether it's King Kunta or I or ADHD or fucking Swimming Pools or Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe or fucking Backseat Freestyle, or I'm naming off old shit, Humble or DNA. There's just a fucking ton of amazing Kendrick Lamar songs that someone considers like the all-time greatest, the all-time classic. And so, like, that's the only person that is in everyone's GOAT conversation who is following modern hip-hop at all. Like, there's people who just won't follow it. Like, I think of, what's his name? Is it Rude Jude? The radio dude who, his take on Kendrick was kind of like, well, I've heard Outkast, like, I've heard of Clemini, this isn't special to me, and in his opinion, the GOAT will always be Scarface. And like, I can listen to Scarface and I think it's good music, but it doesn't relate to me. It doesn't make me think this is the greatest rapper of all time when I listen to it in the way that Kendrick does. But I also am from Kendrick's generation, so it only makes sense for me to feel that way. But like, Kendrick and Drake, like with Kendrick being like the unquestionable, always in the conversation of our generation, and then Drake being the highest selling, is the only reason he gets put in that conversation at all. And then you got, I would say the same thing about J. Cole, honestly. Like, he happens to sell really well and he's conscious, so people compare him to Kendrick, but they're just not even in the same league at all. J. Cole doesn't belong anywhere near the GOAT conversation, and really neither does Drake, but Drake has the unfuckwittable sales figures. And so, like, I think, you know, I've always kind of looked down on this stalemate between them, where it always felt like Kendrick was always kind of warning Drake subliminally that he should not ever try to start beef with him. And it seemed like Drake was always subliminally suggesting that he might one day start beef. But both of them, because they, you know, work together and consider themselves like work buddies on some level, they didn't want to do that and fuck up the money or their ability to collaborate. But it seems like through the conflict that arose because of J. Cole and through Drake throwing disses at Kendrick just decided, fuck it. I'm going to make it very clear that I don't like you at all. I don't think you belong at the top of hip hop. I think you're obnoxious. I think the whole culture hates you. We hate your girlfriends. We hate the way you walk, you talk, the way you dress. We don't want to hear you say the N-word anymore. And the funniest shit on Twitter was fucking Suge Knight, you know, murder emperor Suge Knight from prison, talking about how, you know, Kendrick obviously won this round, but he shouldn't be telling light-skinned people that they can't say the N-word. I'm like, I don't think the point is about how light-skinned Drake is. It's that he's fucking Drake. But, you know, whatever. Suge standing up for the light-skinned ability to say the N-word, I guess. So, yeah, that was funny, result of this beef. But, God, it's like 6 minutes. I think 6.5 minutes long. Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Euphoria, and there's like a ton of style changes. It's like several songs in one, and like the emotional experience of hearing it the first time is really interesting because you like not knowing what to expect. Like it starts off with Kendrick coming off like really chill and sort of like laid back, like, you know what, I didn't want to have to do this, but you're gonna make me get up from my chair, you know? And then he kind of switches into a mode where he's like making it clear this is very serious and he really didn't want to have to do this. Like he's emotional about having, he's like, I really didn't want to have to do this. But then he just goes in and then he just breaks down like every single aspect of Drake's life and what makes it suck. And like the funniest part about it, the craziest part, is that he also makes it very clear that this is like part one. It's like, this is the warning shot. This is like, hey Drake, don't fuck with me any further. Like he says, you know, you don't make up lies about my life. I won't tell truths about your life, you know. So what's crazy about this song to me is that Kendrick was able to lay in this hard, saying just shit that everyone already knows, just shit that everyone already agrees with. You know, like he has the line where he's talking about how we hate the women you hate. And at first I thought he was referring to him and his wife. You know, because I always think about Kendrick saying in Family Ties, number 2 DMing my bitch, that's fine, I don't ask why. I kind of figured that's about Drake DMing, you know, being in contact with his wife because they work together and they're all in the same, you know, pool of influence. But so when he said, we don't like the girls you're with, and yeah, I said we. That was my first assumption, but he might just mean the hip-hop community, like people, like everyone. Like no one likes the women you're with, Drake. Everyone has a problem with your behavior, like socially. So the overall tone of the song is basically, I'm tired of seeing your ass. Just tired of seeing your ass, Drake. Get out, I just don't want to see you anymore, please. Go off somewhere, stop being in rap. Just get out of hip hop, we don't want it. And I mean, you couldn't have encapsulated the sentiment hip hop fans have had towards Drake for a very long time better. And I'm not even gonna front and say I've never liked a Drake song because Nice for What is one of my favorite songs of all time, straight up. I love Nice for What. I think Know Yourself was good. But after hearing that Kendrick Lamar diss, Nice for for what came on shuffle and I had to hit skip, I was like, I cannot listen to this beaten down man right now and try to feel good about things. That's the most feel-good song I've ever heard, but there's no reason to be feeling good about being Drake right now. Anyway, I've made it to the beach. I'm waiting for the light to change, and then I'm going to go over there, and that's going to be the beach. Hey, Tracy, hope you're okay. I'm great. It's a fucking beautiful day. I probably could have worn shorter socks considering the heat, but you know, it's I couldn't find any short socks that were like hikeable. All right, green light. We're almost there. It only took me 55 minutes. Google said it would take an hour and 5, so I'm 10 minutes past prediction. That biker was, so just now, as I was nearing the end of the crosswalk, a car was coming from that direction, and a biker was also coming from that direction, and the biker crossed at exactly the moment I would have walked across the crosswalk had I not stopped, but also the car was coming up next to me. Just obnoxious. Very obnoxious that that bicycle guy couldn't have, I don't know, slowed or something. You know, he really didn't give me room at all to, you know, dodge him and the car at the same time. Whatever. We're at the beach. I'm crossing the dunes. The wall of dune that separates the road from the shore. Gotta walk less rhythmically or else the sandworms are gonna come. Actually, maybe I can summon them. Give myself a ride back home. Oh, it looks awesome out here. Look at this shit. Seaweeds and stuffs. I hear some kind of creatures in the brush. So here's the thing. I super have to piss. And there's nobody around. Except for over there. In those chairs. There's people who could probably see me through the windows of these houses too. Just want to find a nice, comfortable spot in the dunes that I can piss. Because I want to enjoy the beach in peace. It's beautiful, it's sunny, it's gorgeous, and I am beset with a desire to piss without having to go into a 7-Eleven while live streaming. Also, probably shouldn't wear my shoes in this. I'm going to go down to the tighter sand so I'm not getting sand completely filling my shoes. My shoes are full of holes. I should probably buy new shoes sometime soon because when I walk on the sand in my shoes, they get full of sand immediately. And according to Bird, who also has a new pair of Hokas, that hasn't happened to his shoes. So it's just mine being raggedy and old. What a nice idyllic time on the gorgeously disgusting Atlantic Ocean. I'm gonna walk up to, there's some pipes up ahead of me. You can see about maybe pissing by these pipes. Using them as like a, you know, it's like a blockade. I think that'll work. I think that'll suffice. Let's head on over. Let's give it a look-see. Alright, look at the size of this pipe. This is at like my chest height. Alright, so I'm gonna leave y'all on this pipe for a second while I pee. Alrighty. And with that, my piss has been safely transported to where it belongs, the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, I assume that's what this pipe is full of anyways, right? It's probably just a big piss shit pipe, shitty pissy pipe going out to the Atlantic. Well, alright, I feel way more ready to walk around now. Fucking A. Better be peeing sitting down like a proper lady. You know, you gotta squat in order to really hide yourself behind a giant pipe. Running from the law. I'm surprised by how much this looks like an Australian beach. Well, you know, I assume they're kind of all the same. Although, actually, I'm surprised that the water looks as clear as it does right now. Like, you can actually see the bottom for... Oh my god, I see a fish! I see a bunch of fish! Wow, that is so rare. It is very rare for the Atlantic Ocean to be this clear. I mean, actually, I guess I'm pretty up the beach from where I'm used to, so maybe it's just better up here than it is further down. Wow, I just saw a fish leap out of the water, actually, further down. That was cool. Wow, what a beautiful day to be at the water. Yeah, like, you know, I grew up in Virginia Beach, and, like, well, there's a lot of beaches around here. I mean, first of all, you've got the main, I'm trying to remember what they call it. It's like, shit, I can't remember what we call the main beach. Well, the main beach is like the longest pleasure beach in the world or some shit like that. It's just like a couple miles long, but, you know, I guess beaches aren't, most beaches are kind of broken up. Like, if you go to California, like, the whole coast is beaches, but there's, like, they end for bits of time where it's just, like, a cliffside, you know? Here, like, the main thing breaking up the beach is military bases that are built on the water. Otherwise, it's, like, kind of just a continual short beach. But down at the ocean side, I keep calling it that, but I think there's another part of this area that's called Oceanside. Down by the main beach, it's like there's a huge boardwalk. There's tons and tons of hotels. It's like it's a big tourist spot for people from the Northeast and you know, who aren't getting warm weather or have access to nice beaches. And then and also don't want to go further south. There's even more. If you North Carolina and South Carolina got plenty of beach as well. I don't know about Georgia. I never really heard about the beach of Georgia. Obviously, Florida also famous for beaches. But yeah, here you've got like the main one, and then like further up into the bay. If you break out a map of Virginia right now, you'll notice there's this huge ass bay on the eastern side called the Chesapeake Bay. And that's probably actually what I'm looking at. Well, no, I think the bay starts a little further north. Jeez, what the hell is that? What the fuck is that noise? That is deeply upsetting. Yeah, like the bay, like I want to say the main beach is on the water, and then the other beaches up north kind of face the Chesapeake Bay. I don't know if they're technically on it or technically on the ocean, but there's a huge bridge tunnel called the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel that I used to live close to that goes from the mainland all the way up to the peninsula on the other side of the bay. And so I'm used to, God, you can barely see it. Hold on, let's see if you can see this. I don't know if you can make out the frame of a bridge in the far distance, but if you can, that's the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. So when I used to live in Virginia Beach, I lived down there. Now I'm in Norfolk, just further up the same beach pretty much. But it just seems a little nicer, but it might just be because the weather is so good right now. You know, it might be like a right now thing. It might not be a this side of the beach thing. Arrakis! Yes. Alright, I'm gonna get the hell off the beach because my shoes are filling up with sand. And rather than walk in the beach, I can walk by the beach, as there are many parks next to this beach. The place where I landed just now was like just bam, you're on the sand, you know, like it wasn't like a park right next to it, but a little further south or north there would be parks. So we'll go check some of that out. And I'll get quiet for a second while I wait for super chats and cross this dune with heavy breath. And then when I'm on the other side of the dune, I'll give a rant about the super chat topic that I received, assuming I received one, while I dump sand out of my shoes in this parking lot. Maybe this is a park. Actually, this is a park. I entered to the side of the park. But if you look over there, you'll see there's some picnic tables and such. Some little pagodas and shit. Oh, okay. Let's empty this fucking sand shit off. See how fucked up my shoe be? Okay, welcome to the ground. Alright, shoot up. Oh, that was an awful brave camera angle of me. I had to put my shoes on. Community beach access. Yeah, I'm gonna check out. Oh, it's just like a bathroom. Yeah, so I could have just gone to this bathroom right here. I actually passed this. I literally passed this on my way to the beach. I did not realize this was here. I simply walked out onto the beach, found a pole, a big pipe rather, and pissed by the pipe, when in fact there was a bathroom closer to my origin than the pipe on which I pissed. If Peter Piper pissed a pipe of pickled pissing, where's the pissy pipe that Peter Piper pickled on? This is an interesting spot. What a neat little place. So cool. Wow. It's actually like, there's like an awesome breeze coming through this. It's all fucking shaded. It's got good audio. It's got a brilliant view of the beach. And most importantly, it's got a fucking bathroom that I completely walked past to go piss on that pipe over there. Wow. What you wouldn't do to be chilling at the beach right now? Well, I bring you here in spirit. I assure you it's very hot, very sweaty, very bright. There's sand, it's coarse, rough, gets everywhere. Aggravating, I forgot to say. So you know, it's not all it's cracked up to be. But I'm having a great time, so I'm not gonna act like it's not sick. But at least you get to be here with me through the magic of technology. In the crime-riddled streets of, actually that's an ambulance. In the death-riddled streets of Norfolk. If you ever can afford the trip to Japan, do you think you could be a guest on Trash Taste? I don't know, maybe. I don't really want to because I don't listen to Trash Taste, so I don't really know what it's about. People only ever tell me that they don't watch anime, which is why I made a whole channel called We Watch Anime, just to be sort of the antithesis of the anime fan that doesn't watch anime. Video quality went down as I went in there. Well, that sucks. Probably it had a really heavy roof, so it probably blocked some of the signal. Well, I guess I should start my way home, because it took me some 50 minutes to get here, and I think I've got probably some 50 minutes of battery life left in my phone, which I'm impressed has not overheated either. Actually, it's surprisingly not that hot. Maybe it doesn't take a lot of memory to screen. That doesn't sound right though. But just saying that doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound correct. Can I go? No. I could definitely go. There's no reason I can't. I went. Hardware encoders are magic. I guess so. Last I checked, I was ending with the anime stuff. Anything new on the horizon? Well, I've got anime stuff again if you go to the We Watch Anime channel. So, that's on the horizon. You know, I've put out 6 of the 24 videos that I wrote at the start of the year. If anybody doesn't know the story, if you missed all the update videos, I wrote 24 videos at the end of last year, start of this one, so that I could put out a video every other week for a year, guaranteed. Because the biggest struggle I've always had is with consistency, getting stuff out on like a regular schedule. So, you know, tried to make that happen. Morning. But yeah, bi-weekly videos aside, I've been putting out a lot of music, and trying to think about how exactly I get home from here. Look at the map. Just gotta go further down this road. Mega Volume 3, will it ever happen? Yes. I have to do it soon, because Dick Masterson had a thing on a recent show where he was like, you know, if it's been more than 5 years, just drop your project. You know, like, either it has to either come out or it has to never come out. You know, it has to be canceled. And I was like, fuck. I think Kusabega started in 2020, maybe even 2019. So coming up on 5 years, I gotta wrap it up. I figured out where the plot's going to go next. I just haven't plotted out the whole rest of the book yet. Like, I haven't plotted out every single detail of it. But the stuff, the place I was stuck in the book, where I was undecisive about what was going to happen next, I have made a decision about it. So I just need to sit down, plot it all out, and get it written. But, you know, I have had a general sense of how the story is supposed to continue and end since writing Volume 2. It's just been a matter of deciding how I get there. What order the events, like the necessary events transpire and stuff like that. Tell that to Game of Thrones. I will. They should give up. They should stop pretending it's a thing. It's over. It's done. They fucked it up. Huh. for that nice ocean breeze because the sun be beating now. Doesn't help that I'm wearing kind of a thick sports bra under this shirt too. Which maybe wasn't necessary. I wore the shirt in anticipation of taking it off and just being wearing the sports bra by the time I got to the beach, but it's actually the bra that's hot, it's not the shirt. The shirt's fine. The shirt's practically non-existent. I gotta get me some new bras because my titties have gotten too big to not wear them. And also new pants because my waistline has gotten too small for the pants. For all the hand-me-downs I've been wearing pretty much. Well, I'll just be enjoying this peaceful, idyllic walk. Unless I should be interrupted by some sudden rant request. While I gaze upon this golf course. Keep doing what you're doing. Your content has always been excellent. Thank you very much. I don't know if it's always great. There's definitely a time before my content was excellent. And a time after my content was excellent. There's always been times where the content sporadically is or is not excellent. Whoa. Make that compromise. Having that moment where it starts sinking in that this walk is as long as it is. I'm going to be doing this for another 50 minutes. Should have stopped and get a drink somewhere. Probably should have brought a water bottle with me. And now just sweating bug spray off of me, even though it turns out there weren't really bugs out today, strangely. You know, I was expecting it's a real nice day. I'm walking through some woodsy areas. Almost certainly gonna get bugged out. Bras are annoying. That's true, but I know a part of it is like getting the right ones. You know, it's one of those things where I guess I feel this way about clothes in general, but like everybody just kind of has to wear clothes, but most people are not an expert in it. So like particularly with clothes that should be well fitted, if you're wearing something that's not perfect, then it can just be nothing but agitating. And I think with bras in particular, like, you know, ideally you have like a custom fitted bra, but that's expensive and not a lot of people care enough to actually, you know, spring for that. So it's like, yeah, in most circumstances, bras are just going to be agitating, but treated as like a necessity. But I don't think they have to be. At least that's what the wisdom tells me. If it's not too personal, I wonder how you realized your gender before you helped me to realize mine as well. That would be a long story, and I have kind of talked about it in other videos. Particularly my Befriending the Internet series. There's like 5 or so videos where I really went in depth around the time that I first started transitioning and being open about it. Otherwise, if you just want the story again, hit me with that super chat money and I'll do it as a big old rant. Well, I'll be checking out We Watch Anime. Your first video I saw is the Sword Art one. First person who shared my opinion on the show. Watched until you said you were done with anime. Yeah. I was also the first person I saw to have that opinion of the show. And I really thought people were not going to like it, like my video. But I'm glad that it worked out because it pretty much created my anime YouTube career. Yeah, We Watch Anime is where I've continued it. I have considered sequelizing some of my old classic videos, but I'm not sure about SAO. In part because it's so beat to death, and in part because the series is so fucking long. Like, talking about it holistically would take a lot of effort. But, you know, some of the other stuff from back then I've thought about coming back to. I like season 3 of SAO, not any other seasons. I remember, I don't know if you saw my SAO weekly videos that I was doing when that came out, but I was trying to episodically blog it because I thought, like, well, that'll be the most novel way to cover ongoing SAO. But, like, I think there was one episode, it might have been episode 4, that I said was, like, legitimately pretty alright. And, like, I just kind of praised it as, like, hey, it's the actual best episode of SAO. And then the next one was just, like, so unbelievably boring. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Like, this is torturous. I don't know. I think I could probably handle that kind of stuff better now because, like, I have an easier time just, like, maintaining association long term than I used to, where, like, you know, I have a hard time paying attention to shit as it is. If I don't feel like it's constantly grabbing my attention. And so, you know, stuff I really like tends to be stuff that is just so hyperactive, so dense, that there's, you know, never time to stop paying attention to it. And when I have to watch something that really sucks, then it's like a total struggle to keep paying attention. And that also makes it hard to talk about because, you know, the people who like it, they don't struggle to pay attention to it. They know every single fucking detail of it, however little sense those details make. But, you know, if you can't convince those people that you know what you're talking about, or at least like the casual audience of the show, like with SAO, it was such a popular show that you had like the super fans who were really upset with my video, but like they were kind of in the minority compared to more casual fans who were just kind of like, yeah, it seemed good, but it kind of went to shit, you know, who were much more receptive to my message. Whew, I really gotta fucking take a shit, and I'm like 40 minutes from the house, so it's gonna be brutal. I probably should have done it back at that fucking bathroom at the beach. I should have just taken that opportunity to shit. But I'm in the middle of live stream. I don't want to have to mute you through an entire shit. That sounds like a nightmare. I've got a new super chat, but I can't read the screen because it's too bright right now. So I gotta get into this shade under this tree so I can read it. Alright, Pascalium. Thanks for all the content over the years. I've always found you relatable. Hey, I'm hella relatable. Super relatable. That's a Open Mike Eagle song. Shut up, I'm relatable. Super relatable. Look at this guy go. Just look at him go. Absolutely tearing it up in that riding mower. Deep in the woods. Yeah, you know, I've always thought it's interesting when people say that they find me relatable because I don't know how that's possible. I seem impossibly unrelatable. But I guess if anybody can relate to me, they were going to find me through my content, so, you know, like, you roll the dice 7 billion times, you gotta land on something at some point, right? Something kind of similar. I mean, I know relatable doesn't mean like, oh, we're literally the same. We have all the same thoughts and opinions. We live the same life. Like, I've gotten a lot of times where people have written me messages, like DMs, where they'll say something to the effect of like, that they, you know, they feel like we think the same way. like not just relatable, but specifically like, oh, I feel like we think really similarly. But then like the whole text of the DM, really the act of sending the DM in the first place, betrays that idea to me, where it's like, well, if you really think that similarly to me, you wouldn't be sending me a DM telling me how similarly you think to me, because that's not something I'd ever do, you know? Um, I can't imagine there being a me apart from myself that I would DM to tell, like, there are people who I relate to who I've even maybe considered DMing that way, but have never done it, so it's inherently unrelatable to me. Maybe that's a fucked up way of looking at it. I either strongly relate to aspects about you or the exact opposite. Yeah, I mean, I think that's always, people are only as similar as they are different overall. And I think, funnily enough, I think our culture tends to focus too much on the similarities and not enough on the differences. And it sounds like paradoxical because like the similarities are how we know that we're all like human and we all, can relate and we all deserve the same kind of respect because we all have the same basic needs. So that's how we can understand one another. But at the same time, um, like all of society's ability to like the reason there's more than that we're not like generic worker ants or whatever is that we are actually so distinct. And like, there's that kind of a uncanny valley with people where the more similar they are, the more apparent the differences are, especially to those people. Like, I have to imagine that if you had a pair of identical twins, even if they were on the level of finishing one another's sentences, they could probably tell you a list of ways in which they are different that are just not recognizable to the outside. And I think that when you start getting into like the way that people think, when you start getting into the way that people act and react and behave, like even people who seem really similar can actually be just fundamentally totally different in all these like more subtle ways. And I think understanding those differences gets us a lot closer to being able to communicate well, as opposed to focusing on the similarities. Because like, for instance, for somebody who isn't depressed, who would look at somebody with depression and just be like, what is there to be sad about? Like, think about all these things that are great. And like these two people could be living the exact same lives but like they just have a different mindset or like a different way that their brain works and tells them to feel about the world, And like, so even if you're in the same circumstances, like if the person who's not depressed is constantly just like, well, I don't like, you should feel the same way as me. We have all the same needs. We're in the same situation. Like focusing on the similarity will not help you understand. You have to focus on, well, what are you thinking that's different from what I'm thinking? What is your unique situation? What does make you different from me? I don't remember what the fuck I'm ranting about. Oh yeah, somebody just told me I was cool and relatable. That sounds about right. That sounds like the kind of subject that would get my narcissistic ass ranting for 5 whole fucking minutes. Alright, let's see where I am. I'm close to where I want to be. I've almost made it back to that old road that's going to take me like 20 minutes across town. Actually, I think I can cut over to there from here. What a stunning walk. Beautiful city this here, Norfolk. North Side, Norfolk. That's that Nor. That North, if you will. That, of course, is a song about Long Beach, California. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about. Vince Staples. Northside Long Beach, Northside Long Beach. Ellen had a power surge, that sucks. Well, at least your computer did not break. That's good. Okay. These roads are weird. It's hard for me to really express how. It's like a split road. It's really dying down out here. This is the time of day everybody's at work. Most peaceful time to have a nice walkabout stream. Like your dress, thank you. Sort of just a shirt, but like a dressy shirt. But it's kind of coming apart in the back. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like all this fucking like lacy shit that's just all over the place. I'm sure this probably was not meant to be machine washed and has been, but you know, whatever. Still looks cute on stream. What's up, gay? Hey, it's gay up in this bitch. I relate to you in some ways because we are both weird. I mean this in a good way. Well, yeah, that's what I think I stand for. It's weird, freak power. Generally being weird and not apologizing for it. I think there's way too much apologizing in this world. Way too many people feeling bad about just being themselves and they ain't doing nothing wrong. Ain't hurting nobody. Too many people using their victimhood as a bludgeon as well. But, some things never change. It's just that with the hat giving Amish. You are gay. Well, I never argue against that. Look at this guy. Let him go. I like that type of dog. Not that one specifically. He obviously sucks, but, I like that. I think that's a Dachshund. Don't quote me on that. Or is that a Rottweiler? That'd be what a Rottweiler is. I know there's something similar to that. This great dog that there's a dock in Compton that I went to for work a bunch of times. And she's just the sweetest dog, named Callie. And she'd still bark like that, but for purpose, for work. Not just for no reason. Callie's a good dog, alright? Gay and dead. This is the state of our country right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is the state of our country. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure what that comment was supposed to mean. If anything, I would think that this is the most complimentary stream to the state of our country imaginable. A place where cute little trans girls can walk around what is considered widely to be the hood without concern on a beautiful sunny day. I don't think you can give a country a stronger compliment than that. Doberman, that might be the one. People who work don't get to see this. Well, it depends. More like Americans who work don't get to see this. There's always the VOD. My videos always have more VOD viewers than live viewers by a long shot anyways. But I decided to start real early. Honestly, I might stream more than once today because the thing that's going to stop me right now is that my phone might die before I get home to charge it. I still have not yet purchased a charging brick, but I might go out and just do that today. And then go right back live. Because I don't really have a whole lot planned for today. and it's gorgeous. And the way I see it, you should spend all the time outside that you can. Um, I truly have come every year. I come to appreciate more and more how little time there actually is to go outside. Like, it's easy to take for granted the idea that like it's always just there if you want it, but if you actually want to go outside every day and you try to do that, there are so many reasons. Whether it be the weather is usually the reason. I mean, half the year it's cold in most of America, so you know it's just not that pleasant to go outside. And the other half of the year it's hot in most of America. Like, this temperature right now is probably unpleasant to a lot of people. I don't think Bird would want to walk around in this the way I am. At least not in as much clothes as I am. And I'm not even in that much clothes. So that's really saying something. But yeah, like, it's, you know, it's, you have to be ready to deal with the weather. You have to be ready to deal with the insects when the weather is good, because they like it too. You know, you got to be ready to deal with the people, place, time, situation. Can't go out at night, you know, so it's like only so many hours in the day you can even do it. So yeah, it's the kind of thing that I've truly come to appreciate a lot more, especially since moving to Virginia, just simply because Bird and I spent as much time as we could outdoors last year post summer, because we spent the whole summer working outdoors, which sucked. You know, being out in the heat and working is like a insult to injury type situation. So we were working outdoors all last summer, and then basically when it came time that we were able to start camping, all the places we were camping were already getting very cold by September. And then we did most of our camping in like November, December, when it was quite cold. But we got to go to a lot of places that either would be insufferably hot in the summer, like Death Valley, which was actually very nice in winter, and places that are insufferably overcrowded in summer, like Yosemite. But when we finally moved to Virginia, Bird started working a normal job, and so we've been trying to plan camping trips around his days off, and it has just rained consistently. Hold on, look at this. Wow. This is just a neighborhood. This is just what it's like to walk through a neighborhood in Virginia. Every once in a while, you're just like, I'm in the woods. Like, this is a neighborhood, I'm in the woods. I guess these people probably just own like an extra lot's worth of land compared to everyone else, and they've left a lot of the trees up, which is cool, because, you know, most people just take all this shit down, so that tree's got to be older than fuck. But yeah, very pretty. Love to see it. Very nostalgic for me, because again, I'm from this area, and another thing you can easily take for granted is how much any two places are similar. Because like, I grew up just kind of thinking of Hampton Roads as generic, because it is huge and it's all kind of the same. You know, it's all southeastern Virginia, but it's like 6 different cities that all kind of look the same. So I just kind of thought that's like the template of what cities look like. And it kind of is. This doesn't look that different from Kansas City. It doesn't look that different from, you know, parts of the Midwest or parts of even the West Coast. But there's a very distinct flavor. And I think like when I showed that shot of the way the trees look in the neighborhood, or even this just ahead of me, like, this to me is distinctly Virginia. If this was Washington State, the trees would be taller and thicker. It would be hillier, you know, like, nowhere is as flat as southeastern Virginia. It's pretty much all like 10 feet above sea level. So, you know, like, I mean, you saw the beach just now. I've been on flat ground since then. There's been no increase in elevation. So yeah, that to me is the southeastern Virginia experience. All right, what y'all been talking about? I don't see no super chats. I just see a whole bunch of chatter, but it's okay. I'll read it. Actually, there's a lot of chatter. How long was I just ranting for? Literally how long? Uh-oh, I see transphobia in my chat. I'm gonna have to Block that user. Dumb bitch. Shouldn't have come fucking around my... Oh no, I blocked the wrong person. Oops. Let's undo that. Unhide. Yeah. Let's save the person I accidentally killed and then kill the right person. You die. Bam. Haha. Get fucked. Dumb bitch. Bringing that transphobia up in my chat. Dumb bitch. Hey, you know what you should consider? Taking a slide, bringing it to the sewer. You know what I'm talking about? Hey! Transphobes should kill themselves. I'm just saying. It's not a threat. It's a promise. Why did I stop doing the job me and Bird were doing? It was very stressful. The traveling part was cool, but generally the way the job would go is we either had so much work that we couldn't really do anything other than work. Like, we did a lot of brewery visits, but like in the months where we were really heavily working last summer, we didn't go on any kind of trips or hikes or any of that kind of stuff. It was just work. And then when the job lets up, sometimes you go a long stretch with no work. And most of the work we were getting was in California, which is a very expensive place to just kind of idly be. So it was kind of like, if we want to keep having the work that pays well, we have to stay in an expensive place and pretty much be working all the time, because anytime we take breaks, it's gonna burn through all of our money just living in California, you know? Even if you're just like camping and shit, like you could eat through money quickly there compared to anywhere else. It just so happens that my parents moved back to Virginia last year, and Bird's parents, well, his dad moved to the East Coast, so we didn't feel as strong of a connection of a reason to hang around California. So, you know, we just kind of were like, I don't want to keep doing this high stress job and be stuck in LA all the time. And Bird had a job that he really liked before, so he wanted to go back to doing normal work, you know. And so yeah, Bird went back to normal work, and I went back to trying to do internet work full time. But it just so happens that the house that I live in, my parents' house, my parents and my granddad are always home. My granddad's always watching TV in the living room. My dad's got an office, you know, he works from home. And my mom's usually just kind of, you know, chilling around the house. And so there's always activity going on in every room, so there's not really a recording environment. There's not a place to just like sit and live stream. And, you know, I consider that sort of long form content to be my bread and butter. It's always been where I make the most money. So that's why I started doing these walkabout streams, because I realized, wait a minute, I don't have to sit in a house and stream if I'm in a city where there's consistent connection all over the place. Internet's getting more and more impressive all the time. I'm constantly blown away by how much signal you can get to where. The apex for me was, you can find some short clips of this, the shorts on this channel, I think, of me and Bird out in the desert. There's one where he's got like a flaming sword. Go look for the flaming sword. But we were in Arizona out at this rock hounding area, Black Hills, and literally boondocking. It wasn't even a proper campground. It was just a fucking desert full of cactuses that has some places you can camp in it, you know, if you pull off onto the dirt and bring your own toilet paper, you know. So it was our first time boondocking, and we had service. And not just did we have service, but that was the night that Maddox did his big live stream to talk about his fucking stupid video, and Dick live streamed a response live stream, like basically watched Maddox's stream live on his stream, commenting on it. And we ended up convincing Boogie to jump on the stream. By we, I mean Team Dick. I don't know why I said we. It's very schizophrenic of me, but you know, it was like a sports game is what I'm trying to say. It was a magical moment. It's hard to really explain if you don't understand the meta of why this mattered, just like with sports. But you know, it was a big, I don't know why I'm using sports as a metaphor for my fucking hand. It was like the it was like the fucking Sukuna fight. No, you guys don't watch Jujutsu Kaisen. What am I talking about? It was like a cool thing from an anime, you know? It was neat, it was hype. And we got signal for it out in the fucking desert, so it was crazy. And yeah, it just makes me think, you know, the possibilities for live streaming are really opening up for people like me who like to walk around and talk to themselves with a camera in front of them and look like a total weirdo, as if I didn't look like enough of a total weirdo already. But I'll tell you, I definitely get even more blank-faced stares when I walk around with the camera than I do just being a trans person in short shorts. So at least it's nice to know that, you know, the camera's more distracting. That guy was definitely looking. Maybe not like, oh, hello. I definitely wasn't checking you out. I watched JJK, though I need to catch up on the manga. I have not read any of the manga. I've only seen the anime, but Bird keeps up with the manga, so I kind of know what's going on a little bit, but not enough to say that I've been like wholly spoiled for it or anything. I might read it. I might give it a gander, give it a go. It's not too preposterously long. I managed to read all 128 chapters of Free Ren in 2 afternoons. So, granted, that wasn't necessarily easy, but it wasn't hard either, because Free Ren's really good. And like, there were moments where like, when the story wasn't put this down, but I also know that with me, if I put a manga down, I'm never gonna pick it back up. Like I have to get caught up at once, and then stay caught up, or else there's just no hope, you know? Manga Monday is the only thing that's gonna keep me caught up on reading these things. And even then, I've already fallen behind on Kagurabachi and technically Free Ren. Man, I really gotta dump. I really gotta get home, use the bathroom. And my phone is at 14%. So here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I got time to rant out one more rant. If anybody has any rant requests, I'm pretty much just gonna hold out till I can do a rant. And then after that rant, I'll probably end the stream because my battery will die, and I just want to hurry. I just want to haul ass. I just want to get home. I just want to use the fucking bathroom. Then I might go to the store. I might just buy a charger brick, and I might just stream again. I don't know yet. I don't know how the day's gonna pan out. Maybe I'll want to do something else more. Maybe I'll be like, let's work on some music. Or maybe I'll be like, let's work on my next anime analysis video that's got to come out next week. 2 weeks from now, whatever. Oof. My thoughts on Attack on Titan's ending. We actually have a whole podcast about that on the We Watch Anime channel. Bird and I discussed the whole finale arc over there, so you can check that out. There was a fit check near the start of the stream if you don't get another one. So here, we can check it out. This is, I don't know if you can see the full fit. I'm trying to make myself as visible as I can. But that's the check. I wish I had chosen to walk less far from my house. But you know, we all make mistakes. I just make them a little more often than most people. Thank you for the blouse, Tom. Alright, well, I can't stand holding up this phone anymore, so I'm gonna quit the stream and rush my ass home. So, thanks everybody for watching. See you later.